Welcome to Cooking with Bryan Dixon. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Bryan Dixon. On today's episode, I'm going to be making my homemade lasagna. Now, like so many other dishes, lasagna can be done so many different ways. So today, I'm going to show you how I make my lasagna. I hope that you enjoy the recipe. So, let's get right into it. First things first, let's get some prep going. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and saute our onions. Now, a lot of people might saute their onions with their ground beef. I like to do mine before I cook my ground beef. That way they're already done and it's a matter of just stirring them up into your ground beef. So we're going to go ahead and get these nice and caramelized. And once they are finished, we're going to go ahead and take them out. You want them to look a little bit like this. And we're going to take those out and set them to the side, and we're going to get our ground beef started. So once you get your ground beef on, we're going to start with a few seasonings. We're going to start out with about 1.5 tablespoons of garlic powder. Now I use about 4 pounds of ground beef, 80-20 lean to fat ratio. 1.5 tablespoons of onion powder. As well as 1.5 tablespoons of Italian seasoning. And once you get all your seasonings in there, we're going to go ahead and just finish it up. We're going to get it nice and cooked and evenly mixed. And then we're going to go ahead once it's done, and we're going to add our caramelized onions to the mixture. Get it nice and incorporated into your ground beef. And then we're going to take our ground beef and we're going to strain it, get all that extra grease out, and set it to the side until we're ready to build our lasagna. So next we're going to go ahead and get our sausage cooked. I use mild sausage. I don't like to use hot sausage in my lasagna. So we're just going to go ahead and cook our sausage down, make sure it's all the way done. And once it is, we're going to set it to the side and get ready to make our sauce for our lasagna. Now when it comes to my sauce, I use just traditional tomato sauce as the base. I add about 2 tablespoons of onion powder, 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning, and 1/2 cup of sugar. And once I get all that incorporated in there and get my sauce warm, it's time to start building our lasagna. Now I made a lot of sauce, so if you're only making a little bit for you and your family, then you'll want to cut those ingredients down by just half. So instead of 2 tablespoons, just 1 tablespoon of all of your seasonings. So once your sauce is done, we're going to go ahead and we're going to coat the bottom of our pan with our sauce, and then we're going to start building. So we're going to line it with our lasagna noodles. Now I use the uncooked noodles that are ready to go right in the oven. I don't really do the cooked floppy noodles, so that is your preference, but those are the ones I use. Then I use ricotta cheese, and we're just going to use enough to make sure that we get the top parts of the pasta coated in your ricotta. If you don't like ricotta, you can also use cottage cheese. That is definitely a good substitute. I love ricotta cheese, so I'm going to go ahead and use ricotta for my lasagna. Once you got your ricottas down, you want to go ahead and add your next layer, which is ground beef. You'll want to make sure that everything is coated in ground beef. The more ground beef, the better. Once you got that, then we're going to add a layer of sausage onto there. And then we're going to coat it with another layer of sauce. lather, rinse, repeat, and we're going to do this process all over again. Now, once again, like I stated earlier, I love ricotta, so I ended up using a 32-ounce jar of ricotta cheese with my lasagna. So, once again, you use whatever you would like, whatever your preference is, and help yourself. I like ricotta. I like a lot of ground beef, so I made sure that I made mine just extra meaty and extra just cheesy. So once you get that second layer done, we're going to coat it with a top blend of mixed cheese. Make sure the entire top of that lasagna is very well coated like this. We're going to cover it up and put it in the oven on 375 for about an hour and 35 minutes. Should come out looking nice just like this. Get a big scoop, and well, you know what time it is after this. Oh yeah. And there you have it, my homemade lasagna. Let's try it out. Okay. That'll do. Well, I want to thank you again for tuning in to another episode of Cooking with Bryan Dixon. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. As always, before you leave, please make sure you like and share this video with everyone you know. And make sure you hit that subscribe button before you leave. Once again, I thank you very much for tuning in to another episode of Cooking with Bryan Dixon. I'll see you next time. Stay blessed.